Okay, I think this is working. I have no idea, so we'll see. Um, I'm not sure if it's actually even going right now, but if it is, hello everyone. Um, to all of the 0 viewers that are watching, but there may be more later as you click on and have a watch. And yeah, hopefully this is recording. I think it is. Yeah, I think we're live. Yeah, 35 seconds in. Woo! No one watching. All right. So, what I'll be doing today is pretty simple. Well, no, it's not. It's going to be incredibly difficult, incredibly challenging, and incredibly weird. Um, I'm going to be trying to design basically a a design for an important character for for my manga, for the story that we're going to be creating there. And essentially, that's going to be truly tricky. So we're going to be going through a lot of different design processes and a lot of different mistakes and issues, and we're going to try and get that sorted out. Okay, yeah, cool. I can see that on my phone where that's there. Cool, cool, cool. So everything's working. Let me check the sound. The phone where that's there. Cool, cool, cool. Yay! You can hear me just fine, so that should be good. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to basically design a character called Kalu. Kalu is kind of a goddess type spirit, and she's super important in the main character's arc, especially connected to what he believes in and beauty in the world and having good character and just having a general sympathy and open-mindedness to making the right choices in life versus making ugly choices. So Kalu is like almost an anchor for the main character. So she's like an anchor for his positivity and openness. Positivity, woo! Oh, wow. I just realized that while I'm streaming, I can't seem to spell. All right. So it's we're we're gonna try. We're gonna try. We're gonna have to go through a lot of different designs and design ideas to try and figure out something that makes sense because I doubt it's going to be easy, and I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to reach the kind of character that I want. All I know is that maybe a flowy sort of design of hair is kind of important for her. So maybe some sort of flowing structure, and I'm thinking like this width. Why? I don't know. Um, so I'm just going to start by just messing around with a width of hair and kind of like a flowiness. I actually don't even know specifically how I would ever draw hair. Like I haven't studied drawing hair. So this is going to be fascinatingly interesting. Um, like what is it about her that I can capture with hair somehow? Because I'm pretty sure a spirit needs awesome hair. So let's just start with three, the good old rule of three. Is there anything I can tell from that? I don't know. Let's also take a look at some of the facial structures. So I should actually look at the scene itself, the initial scene itself, but I kind of have a memory of it. So she's going to be looking down. in the initial scene, and we can just easily sort of deconstruct, take away like a little patch of the eyes. Like, it's no problem. We can do that. Maybe even we can test like the size of the eyes to make sure that, yeah, this is the kind of size of the eye sockets we want. We can try that. So it's going to be a bit all over the place, but designing something that you've never even fully imagined before, because I have imagined her, but she's more of a feeling to me. So in order to capture that feeling, I don't know, what proportions does she have? Does she, like, what are the features that distinguish her apart from any other girl that I would draw? What makes her so unique and spiritual, and how do we make a decision on that character? It's going to be tricky. So maybe something about her ears can help represent maybe the flow of something, like having a lock of hair pulled back behind her ears is maybe a bit spirity. So maybe, I don't know, something comes in from behind the earlobe and it shows like being withheld, right? And maybe like an expansive sort of bit of hair. Maybe that's a bit divine or spirity, right? Um, what kind of style? I'm thinking maybe like just a sort of wavy something that comes down in front. Um, this might be too utilitarian, yeah, like the width here. Like it's too similar to like any other character that you draw. So how would I even differentiate this? Let's make this one smaller so that it's like a little sort of delicate thing. But let's add like a few more curves than you'd normally get, because just just see how that affects the feeling. Um, maybe there's something coming down over this ear, which contrasts it somehow. Maybe it sweeps out. Um, why would it sweep out? I don't know. It's it's a goddess, right? So maybe even like a little strand of hair sort of pulling against her neck, which represents this sweepiness. This coming out here. What are we going to do with that one? And how does this represent like a goddess? Mm, okay. Um, just thinking. So those are actually not bad. I like I like that line language. It's interesting. But how would I add to that line language? What would I do? I can see something in the nose, like a line across here. That doesn't really represent it well, the way that you're seeing it now, but I can use that as information. All right, I'll just leave that for now. Um, what about this portion? This portion off here? Because it's a flow, right? She has to be flowing. She's not rambunctious. She's sort of she she is loving, but she's not overly loving, like sappy, sort of dairy kind of thing. Like that's too much love. So I think it's like this angle because it is puffy hair, but it's not. super puffy. Okay, so if I do a curve that comes around down there and then up, would I come up? No, that's too wild. So if I come down, no. If I come in and out, yes, in and out, sort of an in and out type thing because that kind of talks about like a twist or a sudden turning, which starts to talk about a realization, um, maybe even a level of focus that she has. So then we can have like a kind of thing that maybe even whips up along here, showing she's highly alert and aware. Would it connect over to the other side? That's an interesting idea. Maybe. Maybe it should. While this one, maybe it's connecting much tighter and close here. And then we're getting this kind of flowy sort of taper. Maybe I'll just cut this off here and then around like this. So that there's this, nice and thin, sort of ribbony hair. I know it's going to be a little bit tricky watching this. Because sometimes when you're designing literally in your mind at the same time that you're designing on page. So getting the clarity of the vision is not as easy, especially with like messy searching lines. So here we've got a combination of three hair structures which kind of create flow and a flowiness. It kind of does match her vibe a bit. I like this kind of like wave crashing upon the shore idea, where there's a smaller strand at the front, a bigger strand at the back, and I'm not so sure about this back one. This back one, maybe it has to come down this way. Yeah, let's puff it out like that, and then bring it across. Maybe like this. That back one is a problem. That's not working. Not sure why that doesn't work. It could also be like just small little indicators that make it not work. So that's tricky. But I do know this line down from the face does make a lot of sense. Like having a line that comes down that way. Depending on maybe just literally just a wavy sort of something like coming over the shoulders and back, and maybe something unusual. Maybe I can come back to that. Flinging out. Maybe just a simple L curve. Let's just extend it down and then an L, like a little L curve. We'll just put it there for now. How would we showcase some grace back here? Maybe like this kind of wider sort of thing, and then maybe a kind of bump. She seems a little bit ragged, not quite goddessy, but maybe that's bit of a shoulder line. I don't know, whatever. And yeah, so maybe the idea for this back hair is like this one. Let's try that. So we go over, over, under, over, under, over. And it's like a deeper under. Oh, that's actually not far off. So like a here and a here, here, this sort of thing that goes across here, and I don't know, something like that. Whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a little bit more goddessy, and then we can have something that flows across like this, creating like this proud sort of structure. Boom, and then maybe that's too wide. So maybe smaller, but still wide. Yeah, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. So nice, wide, sweeping tail. It's pretty unnatural to have that stemming from what comes behind your ear. You know, very unnatural. Okay, but interesting. And maybe she has multiple tails of hair around the back. So like this could be like this larger sort of ribbon of hair, but then maybe there's like these multiple sort of tails of hair that sort of start to flow with the wind, or like as if you were in water, just to add this smaller element that adds a little bit of interest. Ow. Okay. Now let's just duplicate this so that we can jump back in time if we need it. And let's put some features on the face. So how would I sculpt the face or show the face for this specific girl, for this specific type of woman? So Kalu, she's like an anchor. So she needs a kind of stability. So, but she's also a goddess. So how would you design an eye for a goddess? I'm thinking I do want a, a an upper curve to the corner of the eye, um, and probably a bit of an oval to how she's sort of looking at something. But we can also really change up the pupil, because she's a goddess, so she doesn't have to have human forms. I'm thinking also she might have a lot of sympathy, so that inner corner may be sort of stretched, like that maybe. And she's a goddess, so what kind of thing can we do with her eyelashes? Like, would it just be that simple? Is that really a simple enough eye for her? I don't know, maybe. So we could try something like that, like sort of in and up and across and then sort of this flickiness and then through and like maybe this puppy dog kind of look in the eye. That maybe and kind of then like this nice oval. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that suits her. Maybe her eyes are wider than normal. Maybe that's actually a good thing. To show a sort of disconnectedness from the human world. So sympathy, sort of relaxed outer eye, and then kind of an oval, a kind of oval. She's going to be pretty upset. In this scene. Pretty sad, but also serene. So actually, I'm kind of surprised that it's so quick to land upon the eye design. That is pretty close to what I'd imagine her eyes to be like. So that's cool. What about her face? I'm thinking, yeah, that sort of, that slope, maybe this kind of thing out here. What about her forehead? How does her forehead work? Does she have a tidy, like smaller forehead or is it larger? I don't know. What about her cheeks? Are they full? Are they gaunt? No, I think they're kind of like this. Right? Alright, sorry if I'm not giving loads of design ideas here. There's an overlap of the nose. What am I going to do with her nose? How am I going to bridge it across? I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a little bit better for the nose. So maybe the fact that she's a spirit gives her like eagle-like eye, like an eagle-like perception. No, she shouldn't be that harsh. She should be softer, much softer. So if we can get the nose to kind of communicate a softness somehow. How wide should it be? Where does it go to? What? Okay. Does it do that? How do we sculpt this? She could even have imperfections in her nose. No. because she'll have to be different than the other characters. So, like in appearance, like quite definitively different. This is too. She's too capable of violence here. I'm adding in some just eyebrows. So she's kind of worried. It's not to like make the picture any better, it's just to make me think about how she's feeling so that I can get just a look. I know that these eyes are off. That's definitely looking outwards. So I have to change that. So being immortal, how does that, how would that change the way that you look or feel? Um, um, okay. What lines are best here? She looks very childish here, which is kind of a good thing because if she looks childish, that means that she's more immortal, more like a spirit. But I don't want to look too childish. So I'll add a little bit more angularity and see how that goes. And maybe this part of the jawline. Ah, yeah, a goddess. She would have like a stronger jawline, maybe. That that giving authority. Um, and maybe you can like add flow with that into like hairlines and necklines and that sort of thing. So this ear is definitely off perspective wise because it would be more here, more here. And then you get this Y shape and you get the join, you get that, so there, okay. And how do I see her jawline moving? Now I'm just thinking about how her face actually sculpts. Like if you were to touch the face, like what what would you feel? What lines would you feel? So these are indicating forms. They'd sort of come across over here, over here, over here, over here, over here, here, over here, here. Hairline would be along here more. So this would be a hairline closer. Just give me the hairline. Ugh. Whatever. But we'd know the hairline would come in here somewhere. Not a side fringe, whatever. That's terrible. I don't know what I'm doing there. But I think the forehead would actually move back around about there. Okay, maybe it would be this hair that kind of does it. So I don't know anything about drawing hair. Zero. I'm just thinking about the design of her character. So it's not a rendering phase. So it doesn't matter about that. Like if I would never think about creating a perfect illustration in a design phase. It's just not what you need to do. So this wouldn't even be like a final design of her either. It's just an idea of her to get started with, so that things can then be altered and changed and adapted. So I think we've got like a nice neck structure, sort of this nice neck form sort of starting to be created here, which is kind of a happy accident. So there, and what kind of lip structure would she have? It would be kind of from here to here, and maybe it would be about this high, and this with a width. So maybe a come in like here, come like this, and then like a whippy up Cupid's bow and down, while we get like a sort of the front of the Cupid's bow happening here, and the sort of the kiss marks of those outer lips coming into here, into the kind of that little ball muscle of the whatever, and get this sort of thing happening so that she'd be here. Maybe I want to like add a little bit of something there. Would she have a cheek line? I don't know. Maybe. Would it be a little bit more structured in the nose? I'm not sure. It has to come in a little bit. Oh my God, it's so difficult to think of how Goddess would look. It's not horrifyingly terrible yet. To be honest, it looks a little bit Wlup, in how it's structured rhythmically. Yeah, I'm just kind of empathizing with her in the moment. As she's not having a good time. The eyes don't really communicate that though. So let's just change that up. I think that's an interesting starting idea for her though. So I think that actually might be cool for like a first stream. Almost. So I'm surprised that it was that quick to develop an idea of a design. Um, but I think I need to go away and actually think about this idea more. But let's put a few more indicating lines on. Um, maybe from here and here, put like this to add that indicating line. Um, and these aren't going to be perfect, so it's not going to work. And then maybe let's duplicate this layer. Let's remove that layer. Let's use this. And I think I might blend away the eyes because what the hell happened there? Why did it erase? That's strange. So maybe it's just the size of it. That is weird. Hmm. Come on, Blender, don't be weird. Ah, there we go. So the reason I'm going to blend out the eyes rather than remove them is because, yeah, I do want to change them, but I'm okay with having some of those older features there. And so I'm just going to blend them out because that would create a bit of shade and shadow anyway. And then we'll go over it and see what's going on. Okay, so how do I want to create this? Maybe even in here, that's even sadder. A little bit more down before coming out here. I'm just trying to feel her emotions here so that I can design her in a way that represents what she's really feeling. Because I suppose there's reasons to be sorry for a goddess or a spirit who lives forever. And I want to capture that idea a bit. Right. Her eyes are way too wide apart from one another, but as I said earlier, it might work as like a design feature for her and her alone. And let's see how to make this part sad. That's not quite right, is it? But I'll zoom out. Yeah, it's definitely not right. Um, how are we going to do this without making her dazed? That's way too dazed. That's horrifying. Okay, so let's blow this a bit. Now I'm just trying to abstract from what I have already and just blur my vision out a bit and just feel what I might see. I do like the idea of a little bit of shock in her eyes, not too much. Because it's got to be more sorrow. This looks a little bit too patronizing for me, I think. We'll see. We'll see. And if I put this in like this. See, the trick with eyes and emotion in eyes is you really should be as abstract as possible in what you're doing so that you're just trying to implement the feeling of the thing that you're drawing, not drawing it exactly. Because if you get a feeling in the eyes, you're going to be so much better off than anything else. This looks, she looks pedantic. Yeah, that's better. That's not great, but it's better. Okay, let's get a little bit of blending in there so that's not this grossly separated. Yeah, that eye is just not doing it. Hmm. Okay, let's do that. And then sometimes you just get too scared to like make something again like you did the previous one, so you kind of, because you forget like different features and aspects of what you did That's way better. That's way better. And as you forget certain features and stuff, things just get like you, no matter what you did, you try to like cheat the second bit, and it just, yeah, it's not gonna work like that. I think even here the eye is way too compressed to the nose. Oh God, that's horrifyingly bad. Well, it looks like I'm going to have some issues with this eye. Let's remove it for now. Mm. And I'll figure out what we're going to do with the eye later. Obviously, we have this one to help. But I think with this one, if I duplicate this one, and then I just say, let's move that eye across. Let's take a selection, say of this specific eye, and then we move it across and shrink it a little bit. Is that close enough? Might be. Might be. Alright, whatever. Let's just go with that for now. I'll just do it quick and dirty. Yeah. Alright. That's not quite her. That's not quite her. But it's pretty close for a first shot. So, I mean, they'll need to be color designed because I don't think I'm ever going to display her without color. Just because. Ugh, ugh, ah, ugh, ugh. Yes, whatever. We can just go back to the previous. Yeah, there we go. That does look better. Even though it's a bit whippier or whatever. So I think that's okay for now. And yeah, we'll just take it from here next time when we do a bit of character design. So I just want to take a while to think and process, and then I'll figure out more about it. And that's part of the design process. Obviously, you'd want to select way more options and way more viewpoints and things like that. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that. All right, but for now, that's kind of a successful little step in the right direction, and then I can start to memorize some of these lines and ratios. Look for them in like different places, see what's going on. Think a bit more about like this wide eye idea, this this nose structure. I really do like the lips. I think that's really good. I think the hair is pretty good. There's different parts to it that I would actually look at changing, like how am I doing here, and what what ways am I going to do this by principle? So by principle, what kind of design choices am I going to use regarding that? And then once we have the principles of a face, the kind of ratios, we'll boil that down to see if we can get that from different versions. I should have used this eye design trying to do this other eye. I think that was what really got me, is I didn't remember the design. I'll think about her body. I think the body that's representing here is pretty good. So sort of kind of modest, sort of middle of the road kind of width for arms and so on. Sort of broader shoulders than you would normally have for most girls. I think that's like a good kind of idea. Um, to have these rhythm lines like that as well is kind of cool. So let's do like an overlap there. Um, Now, obviously, this arm is just out of control. But whatever. I can't even erase it because it's not on that layer. Whatever. And yeah, I want to think about whether that is too stereotypical. What I'd want to change about the eyes. I like the idea of the hair behind the ear. I like the idea of the hair flailing off. I like the idea of a big, at least one big stem of hair, at least one. That that works. Um, so this thing, I kind of like that. I like the body design idea. That's kind of cool. But I'll just keep thinking through the character, read through her scenes, and then just consider it as much as possible. And then we'll kind of get to like actually figuring out the way that every single bone on her face sculpts like this. Like, does it sculpt like this and then up around here? What's happening with this section here? How does that section work with her face? How can we beautify the aspects of her face and start to understand like where even her cheek structure would be? Is it here? And like as this is rolling around here, like what's happening to this? What's happening to the jawline, to everything as this is happening? Hmm. Interesting, interesting like questions to be brought up and to be like enhanced and pushed to see what they would do. Maybe like a little dip in the thing there can suggest the cheek. Because you do want to show a little bit of cheek, but that makes it way too gaunt, so can't do that. Hmm. So there's just loads of questions that are going to be here. Like, see this broad section here in the forehead. What am I going to do with that? Oh, that's interesting. Even having like a triangle structure, something. Hmm. What kind of features would I add on her face or in her eyes, like inside her pupils? Um, you could, add different designs here. Um, um, what sort of pupil designs would there be for like a goddess? Mm, I'd have to think of something symbolic, but something that creates emotion. Obviously, you could go with something silly like a star. You could go like that. Or you could go with, a heart. You could do silly things like that because it's cartoon. Um, you can do funkier things. Like you could have like a weird lightning strike as the eye. But what does that do? Maybe that makes her more alien. What is she ultimately the goddess of? Joy. So, um, how would you make it more joyous? Would you create maybe a star that has like little bursts of it? Like something really popping, like pop, pop, pop. Maybe. So maybe that's like sunlight. That's actually an interesting idea. Giving her kind of like sunlit eyes. Maybe that even makes sense. Like a mixture between day and night, sunlight, and the evening sky. Maybe. Hmm. Sunlight and the evening sky. I don't know. Maybe. Like how would you add? Yeah. So purple and gold should be really good complementary colors. So actually, I do like that idea of purple and gold. Purple and gold. I also like the interesting geometry in this. That is interesting because you can add some sort of funky geometry that might make it kind of interesting. Mm, and maybe you do something like what's a night sky purple? Maybe that. Mm, so let's duplicate this layer. Actually, just draw it on the bottom one. Um, so maybe you'd have like a night lit sky kind of idea on this side. And then you would have the idea of gold. I'm not particularly good with colors, so I wouldn't pay too much attention on this part. Maybe brighter. And then let's create some sort of a blend. Ugh, it's picking up all the black. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And oh, let's do this. Maybe you could almost approximate a normal eye inside of the geometry by the shapes of the color. Hmm. I don't know. Maybe. Hmm. Let's just get some eyeballing. Because I think, yeah, it will be interesting just because she is a goddess, you can change around different aspects of the facial features and structures a little bit more than you can with other characters, right? So, mm, like especially this eye, like this eyelash and stuff, that'll definitely be easy enough to change for her. And I really need to remove any of that like staleness in her eye, um, but create something. Let's take a look at what that might look like, theoretically speaking. Mm, actually, what we might need to do is because they are on different layers, or whatever. Merge to visible to new layer. Yeah, let's do that. Um, don't do that. Okay. Mm, always klutzing around. It's all good. It's all good though. Scale and rotate. That's going to transform. Flip horizontal. Let's shrink that little guy. Whoa. Huh. Interesting. Let's flip it horizontal again. And turn it the other way. How does that work? Does that work? Kind of works. But we want to also lower. Let's duplicate this layer. And then let's lower this eye in the eye socket. Let's get an ellipse. And then let's just lower it. And okay. And then let's do, I don't know, some fingertip tools or something. This is a really bad way to do the process, but whatever. Shrink that down. Draw this across. Maybe this goes here and up along here. Maybe this, we can bring this up like this, just to get rid of some of that double language. Bring this. Let's get the liquefy tool. Hopefully, yeah, it's about the right size. We can bring this down, bring this down, bring this down over here. This. And make her suitably horrified and sad. I think I need to make this bigger. And then move this all the way across. And maybe bring this down. Maybe pull this broader. So there we have some sort of idea coming into shape as to what she might look like and why. I also think there should be some emerald in here somewhere, some sort of emerald color. Because I think that represents joy. So maybe we can put some emerald-ish color in her hair. So G-Pan, maybe like an emerald-ish bit of color here or there. Like, what does that do? Or maybe it can like even be in like the eyelash. Or maybe there are little specks of it in here. Little specks of emerald. Because they help create that joyous life feeling, right? I'm not sure. Let's blend those. So they're a little bit murkier. Ugh. Fingertip. I don't want fingertip. Let's blend it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's doing the eraser. There we go. Just so it's not as stark of a contrast where you can't notice it. So I'm just thinking in terms that when you blend it, you can just reduce them back to like grays a little bit. So I'm just thinking, what does that do? Does that make it more joyous? Yeah, actually, that kind of works. I think that looks a little bit more like her. She wouldn't have that wide of an eye, obviously. So let's reduce that a bit. Definitely not that wide of an eye. And something like that. Yeah. Not horrifying. Good. So there's some color ideas along with some ideas of like flow and hair and whatever, and that's just information for now. It's not to give you a full-on vision or something, but let's do like a little paint and apply, just to see what that does. Paint and apply. Where is this? Paint and apply. Let's just go mid-tone and make this bigger. This is just one of the ways that I very quick and dirty put in shadows and stuff. It's so quick and dirty. It's silly. I think what we'll do is we'll do an opacity layer after this to try and like figure out what we're doing. Okay. Wow, that doesn't help the collarbone at all, having that weird line there. All right, whatever. Sternocleidomastoid. Then there's that, and then you've got like coming through there. Onto there. Buddy. There will be a bit of highness on the outside there. Wash across here. It's gonna be darker along here. Let's see if I can actually get it darker. Come on. There we go, finally. There we go. Underneath here, it's not going to look as ridiculous as it looks right now. You'll see. We'll get to see a bit what's going on with this design in just a sec. Maybe a bit under here, definitely some under here, and some down here. All right, so we do that, and opacity. Let's put that one on top, reduce that one's opacity. I wonder if any of these will help. Really? Maybe? Yeah, that one will do. All right. I'm just destroying all my, the memory of this thing. It's all right, it's good. I want to blend out that weird thing because that's weirdly destroying her cheekbones. Push out that gradient there. That makes her look gaunt, so let's remove that a bit. Wow, that is exceptionally dark under her eyes. There's bags under her eyes, almost. Don't want that. So we get up to her nose bridge. Wow, that doesn't work at all. Whatever. Let's pull this across. Yeah, actually, now that's starting to work a bit better. Especially if you remove this part So actually, let's just paint that part. Just being quick and dirty here. Quick and dirty. We can remove this part. Wow, that doesn't work at all. Moving that too much. Ugh. Whoa. Whoa, you've destroyed it. No. It's okay. I'll just blend that back in. Or not. No, I'm just kidding. That is not good at all. Looks like ET phone home. I'm not too worried because I probably won't keep that that shape language on it anyway. What's happening with this nose? That doesn't work. And this thing doesn't work either. Whoa. That's messing things up big time. Whatever. Okay, so let's reduce some of this, whatever, wonkiness. And where was the original sort of sketchy thing? It was like here, I think. Where is the lips? Maybe it's in this one. Got the lips. Oh, here we go. And let's get the lips. Coffee, hey. What do I want to do with the rest of this one? Maybe we can just delete specific parts of this. So delete across here. That's kind of annoying. So is that part. This part's kind of annoying. This part up here is annoying. Like that. Maybe that's annoying. I did kind of like that line a little bit. Maybe keep those lines in for now, and though they don't fully help. And then, okay, let's jump over the top of this. Merge visible in new layer, come on. And let's go G-Pen. I like this idea that added to the eyes. I think that was actually kind of cool. Where it's got this double kind of layer thing to this. That's actually really nice. So this double layer thing, which comes up to that, is kind of cool. And then come down and up and around. And this would have to be down more. So you'd have to bring that. And that would come around like that. And this comes up more like this. You get more like this. And let's just take some color dips just to get the roughest of ideas. Rough idea, that's all we need. And stick some yellow. And some magenta. And I don't really like that much. Okay, so blend out this side a bit. That's actually not terrible. It's not her, not yet. But there's some clear ideas here that kind of create some dynamics and interplay and ooh. There's something interesting. There's some interesting things in here. Yeah. There are some interesting things in here that I can learn to play with. And then, once you get those ideas set up, yeah, here we go, a little bit nicer. Along here, and through here, a little bit darker. Let's pull these through like here. Yeah. Now I'm starting to get more of an idea of her. Now she makes more sense to me. Okay. There we go. That makes way more sense. Yes. Way more sense. Okay. We've even got a shape here. See this shape language in this? This shape coming across like this. It's the shape of a shorter hairstyle, right? But having that shape sort of brace her face seems like it could be something useful for describing her, making her more funky, more spiritual, more open, giving a very open-minded sort of feeling to her. So that could be quite quite good and quite useful. And we have a similar shape across along here, which can be used. So when we frame her face, maybe there's a specific language that we want to frame her face in before we get to, you know, the hair constructs and the color of the hair and like what language the hair uses to sort of describe itself. We can get that sort of idea done, right? So we've got this, the dark there, and blah blah blah, and obviously along here is going to be dark, and underneath the breast is going to be darker. Probably in the picture anyway, she won't be in any darkness at all. She'll probably be illuminated. But just getting this idea, and that feeling, okay. And this feeling across this shoulder. So you'll notice I'm just kind of feeling little indicator natures of the form. Even when I'm just doing this random blending, most people might think, oh, you just blend. Use it as an opportunity to feel things and sense things and understand things about the person that you're drawing, so that your understanding of their design just deepens and deepens as you develop more and more. Now, probably as a spirit, you know, you'll probably go with like some sort of sarong, I guess, as to what she's kind of wearing. And there'll be something like flailing about, like magic around her or something that's sort of doing things as well. So, whatever. Here. And ba ba ba. And let's move some of these lines, soften them up. What I'm doing right now is I want to get at least a sight line on her a little bit. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is maybe a bit more what you look like. It's not trying to make it rendered in any way. It's just literally, well, first of all, I'm learning things about her as I'm doing this. And then second, well, that's interesting. Not have it part of a big chunk, but also maybe it could be like a smaller, like little tail whipping off. That's interesting. That's interesting. Like this, maybe length. That's curious. I like that. Okay. And let's get some dark stuff here in the pen line and sort of get this going here, bop. This along here with this stroke line, bop, and this line here, wow, bop, and what's this? I don't know. Ah. Yeah, maybe you could put like lines in here or stripes with like the colors, because, and maybe you could put like specific earrings or something here as well that kind of represent something, like her symbol or whatever. You could add a lot of attraction in like that ear line there, and maybe have something also behind here that's doing something, just adding extra flow, whatever. And then this curving over here and whipping up here, and I don't know what her eyebrows would be like at all. Maybe a bit more like this right-sided one here that I've drawn. Not the left one. The left one doesn't really suit it. And maybe the nose comes like this. A little narrower. Maybe. It's not quite right, but yeah. Okay. Like this, like how would we represent like these lips? You gotta maybe make them even bigger a little bit. And we're representing that plane. And here. Then I'd have to think about compositional ideas like how am I creating like the loose edges or flow that's going to be coming off this? How am I going to enhance these feelings and make them much stronger in a design? Maybe this could get puffier along here before it gets thinner. Puffier, then thinner. Maybe that whips back this way before it comes in. And so, yeah, there we are, designing a goddess. Maybe a star like this, on her third eye or something. I don't know what a symbol is, but I'll figure it out at some point. Maybe this will actually be a headband of some sort. But that's a bit too Wonder Woman. So I don't know about that. Like you could also have like a neck band sort of here, like a neck ribbon if you wanted. But I think that's also a bit too common of an idea. Yeah. So this is just the first shot at Kalu, or how I might represent her. I gotta figure her out a bit more, obviously, as this isn't kind of like when you're doing ideation for design, you've got to get multiple sort of references down so that you can start to develop the concept and the idea and all that sort of stuff. All right. All right. Multiple times. Don't just go with the first thing that comes to your mind, because the first thing that comes to your mind is not designed. I actually do like the idea of stripes with her, because stripes, there is something unusual about that. I like it. Okay, so that's cool. Thanks everyone for watching, and I hope, lack of commentary as I'm kind of like trying to figure things out isn't too much of a thing, but yep, that's it for now, and I hope you all had fun, and yeah. All right, catch you guys. Bye.